Hey everyone, I'm Sarah, and I've been teaching English for over 10 years. More importantly, I've made friends from over 50 different countries.
And I'm Johnny. I'm a language enthusiast who learned 3 languages just by making friends. Welcome to Native Speakers, where we teach you English the way it's actually spoken.
Today, we're going to blow your mind with something your English teacher probably never told you.
That's right. Please forget about getting rid of boring textbooks for a moment. We're talking about the secret weapon of language learning, friendship.
So grab your notebook, get comfortable, and let's dive into the truth about making friends and learning English.
Sarah, can I be honest with you for a second?
Of course, what's on your mind?
When I first started learning Spanish, I spent 6 months with grammar books, vocabulary apps, and those structured courses everyone recommends.
Let me guess, you could conjugate verbs perfectly, but couldn't order coffee without panicking.
Exactly. How did you know?
Because that's the story of literally millions of English learners around the world. They study for years, pass exams, get certificates, but when a native speaker says, "What's up?" they freeze completely.
So what changed for me was simple. I met Carlos, a guy from Mexico, at a local community event. We both loved basketball, and we just started talking about games, players, ridiculous referee decisions.
And let me guess, you learned more in those basketball conversations than in months of textbook study?
100%. Within 3 months of hanging out with Carlos twice a week, I was actually thinking in Spanish. Not translating in my head, just speaking naturally.
That's the power of friendship in language learning, and here's why it works so well. When you're talking with a friend, your brain isn't in study mode, it's in connection mode.
What do you mean by that?
Well, think about it. When you sit down with a textbook, your brain knows you're studying. There's pressure, there's anxiety about making mistakes, and you're consciously trying to remember rules.
Right, it feels like work.
Exactly. But when you're chatting with a friend about something you both enjoy, maybe it's movies, cooking, video games, music, you forget you're even practicing English.
Your brain is focused on sharing ideas, not on whether you used the past perfect tense correctly.
Precisely. And here's the shocking truth that teachers won't tell you. Your brain learns languages better when you're not actively trying to study them.
Wait, that sounds too good to be true. Can you explain that?
Sure, it's called acquisition versus learning. When babies learn their first language, they don't study grammar rules, right? They acquire language through natural interaction, through hearing it used in real contexts, and through making connections between words and experiences.
So you're saying we should learn English the way babies learn their first language?
Not exactly, because adults have advantages babies don't. We can understand grammar explanations, and we can use our first language as a reference point. But we should combine that adult understanding with the natural acquisition that comes from real conversations.
Okay, so let me share a real example from my own experience. I had a friend named Yuki from Japan who wanted to improve her English. She had studied English for 10 years in school. 10 years, and she knew grammar better than I did.
But she couldn't speak confidently?
Exactly. So I suggested we just hang out and talk about normal stuff. The first few times were awkward because she was so worried about making mistakes.
That's so common. The fear of making mistakes is the biggest barrier for English learners.
Right. So I told her, Yuki, when we're hanging out, I'm not your teacher, I'm your friend. Friends don't judge each other for grammar mistakes. They just enjoy each other's company.
And that permission to make mistakes, that's crucial. How did things change?
After about 2 weeks of just chatting casually, she started relaxing. We'd talk about her job stress, my relationship problems, and funny things we saw online. And I noticed something amazing happening.
What was it?
She started using phrases I never taught her. Like one day she said, "I'm so over this drama at work." And I asked her, "Where did you learn 'I'm so over this'?" And she said, "I don't know. heard it somewhere and it felt right to use it there.
That is acquisition. Her brain was picking up natural English from context, from movies, from songs, from previous conversations, and she was using them naturally because she was focused on communication, not on correctness.
Exactly. And within 3 months, her English was more natural than some people who had studied for 20 years.
So let's break this down for our viewers. How exactly do you make friends to learn English? Because I know some people are thinking, this sounds great, but I don't know any English speakers.
Great question. Let me tell you about different ways to make English-speaking friends, starting with the easiest methods.
Method number 1. Online language exchange platforms.
Yes, websites like HelloTalk, Tandem, Conversation Exchange, these are platforms where people who want to learn your language can connect with you and you teach each other.
So if you speak Arabic and want to learn English, you find someone who speaks English and wants to learn Arabic. You spend half the time speaking English, half the time speaking Arabic.
And the beauty of this is that both people are learners, so there's no judgment. You're both making mistakes, you're both helping each other.
I actually met one of my best friends, Mariana from Brazil, 5 years ago through a language exchange app. We started with 30-minute video calls twice a week.
And now?
Now we talk almost every day. We've visited each other's countries. She came to my wedding. She's not just a language partner anymore. She's a real friend.
And I bet your Portuguese got really good too.
Actually, here's a funny confession. We both got so comfortable that now we mostly speak English because her English became excellent, and honestly, my Portuguese is still pretty basic.
But that's okay, because the friendship is real.
Exactly, which brings me to an important point. When you're making friends for language learning, you have to be genuine. Don't just see people as English practice tools.
Right. People can sense when you're not genuinely interested in them as people.
Yes, so method number 2, join communities based on your interests.
Okay, tell me more about this.
Well, think about your hobbies. Do you like photography? Join online photography groups where people speak English. Do you love cooking? Join English language cooking forums or Discord servers.
Oh, I love this approach because you already have something in common with these people.
Exactly. You're not just randomly talking to strangers. You're connecting with people who share your passion. The English becomes secondary. It's just the tool you use to discuss what you love.
I actually did this with gaming. I started playing online games with English speakers, and we'd use voice chat to coordinate during the game.
And did that help your English?
Massively! I learned so much slang, so many expressions. Like, I got your back. I learned that from a teammate in a game, and it's such a useful phrase in real life, too.
Gaming is actually an incredible way to learn English because it's immersive, it's fun, there's real-time communication, and there's immediate context for everything you're learning.
Right. When someone shouts, "Watch out behind you" in a game, you know exactly what that means because there's literally an enemy behind you.
Context is everything in language learning. That's why friendships work so well. Every conversation has a natural context.
So what's method number 3?
Method 3 is local meetups and international communities. Even if you live in a country where English isn't the primary language, there are usually international meetups, language cafes, or expat communities.
I used to attend a weekly language exchange cafe in my city. People from all over the world would come and we'd just sit around tables and chat in different languages.
Those environments are perfect because everyone is there for the same reason, to practice languages and meet new people. There's no pressure, no grades, just conversation.
And you know what I loved about it? People would bring food from their countries. We'd try different things, share stories about our cultures.
So you were learning English and learning about the world at the same time.
Exactly. And this brings up another crucial point. When you make friends from different countries, you don't just learn English, you learn different varieties of English.
Oh, this is so important. English sounds different depending on whether someone is from the UK, the US, Australia, South Africa, India, Singapore.
Right, and they use different words too. Like, what do you call athletic shoes, Sarah?
I call them sneakers.
My British friend calls them trainers. My Australian friend calls them runners.
And they're all correct. This is actually one of the beautiful things about making international friends. You realize that English isn't one fixed thing. It's this living, evolving, diverse language.
Which takes the pressure off, right? You don't have to speak perfect English because there's no such thing.
Exactly. Now, let's talk about method 4, social media and content creation.
Oh, I'm excited about this one because it's how I made some of my best friends.
So here's the idea. Start creating content in English about topics you love. It could be Instagram posts about your photography, YouTube comments on videos you enjoy, blog posts about your travels, tweets about technology, whatever interests you.
And when you do this consistently, you start attracting people who share your interests.
Yes, and then you can reach out to them, comment on their posts, respond to their comments on yours, start conversations.
I started a small Instagram account about street photography in my city, just posting photos and short captions in English. Within a few months, I had people from all over the world following me and commenting.
And those international interactions turned into friendships?
Absolutely. I started having DM conversations with people, then video calls, and I actually met up with some of them when they visited my city.
This is the power of the internet for language learning. You can make friends with native English speakers from anywhere in the world without leaving your home.
But Sarah, I know some viewers are probably thinking, okay, this all sounds great, but I'm shy. I'm scared to talk to native speakers. What if they judge me?
Such an important question. Let me tell you something from the perspective of a native English speaker. We love when people are learning our language. We think it's impressive and brave.
Really?
Really, think about it. If someone came to you speaking broken Arabic or broken Mandarin or broken whatever your native language is, would you judge them? Or would you be impressed they're trying and want to help them?
I definitely want to help them.
Exactly. Most native English speakers feel the same way. They're honored that you're learning their language and they want to support you.
But what about grammar mistakes? Don't people get annoyed?
Here's the truth. In real conversation, communication matters more than grammar. If you say, yesterday I go to the store, instead of yesterday I went to the store, everyone still understands you perfectly.
So mistakes don't matter.
They matter for learning and improvement, but they shouldn't stop you from speaking. The key is to speak first, worry about perfection later. You learn by doing, not by waiting until you're ready.
I love that. Speak first, worry about perfection later.
And here's another shocking truth. Native speakers make mistakes all the time.
What do you mean?
I mean, we use incorrect grammar. We say, me and him went to the store, when technically it should be he and I went to the store. We end sentences with prepositions. We split infinitives. We break all the rules we were taught in school.
So the way native speakers actually talk is different from textbook English.
Completely different. And this is why making friends is so valuable. You learn real English, not textbook English.
Can you give me examples of things native speakers say that aren't technically correct?
Sure. We say wanna instead of want to. We say gonna instead of going to. We say I couldn't care less, when technically it should be I couldn't care less.
We use literally to mean figuratively, like I literally died laughing.
Laughing, yes! And we start sentences with and but, even though teachers say not to.
So the point is, don't stress about perfect grammar when you're talking with friends. Focus on communicating your ideas.
Exactly. Now, let's talk about the practical steps. If someone watching this video wants to make English-speaking friends starting today, what should they do?
Okay, step 1. Choose one method we discussed. Don't try to do everything at once. Maybe start with a language exchange app because it's the easiest.
Good. Step 2, create a profile that shows your real interests. Don't just say, I want to practice English. Say, I love Marvel movies and want to discuss them with English speakers. Or, I'm a chef and want to share recipes and cooking tips.
because specific interests attract specific people.
Exactly. Step 3, reach out to 5 people. Don't wait for people to message you. Be proactive.
And what should the message say?
Keep it simple and genuine. Something like, "Hi, I saw you're interested in photography and want to practice Spanish. I'm learning English and I love photography too. Would you like to do a language exchange call this week?"
Simple, clear, and friendly. I like it.
Step 4, schedule regular conversations. Consistency is key. It's better to talk for 30 minutes twice a week than for 3 hours once a month.
Why is that?
Because your brain needs regular exposure to learn patterns. It's like going to the gym. You get better results from consistent short workouts than from occasional marathon sessions.
That makes sense. What's step 5?
Step 5, be patient and persistent. Not everyone you message will respond. Some conversations won't click. That's okay. Keep trying.
It's like dating, right? You have to meet several people before you find a real connection.
Exactly. And step 6, focus on building real friendships, not just language practice. Ask about their lives, share about yours, and be genuinely interested.
Because when you care about the person, the language learning happens naturally.
Precisely. Now, let me share a success story. I had a student named Hassan from Saudi Arabia who followed this exact approach.
What happened?
He joined a gaming Discord server because he loved strategy games. He was terrified at first and barely said anything in voice chat, but he kept showing up, kept participating.
And?
After 2 months, he made friends with a group of guys from the US, UK, and Canada. They started having weekly game nights. They'd talk about life, work, relationships, everything.
Did his English improve?
6 months later, he sent me a voice message and I almost didn't recognize him. His fluency had increased dramatically. He was using idioms naturally, his pronunciation had improved, and his confidence was through the roof.
That's amazing.
And the best part? He told me, "Sarah, I don't even feel like I'm studying anymore. I'm just hanging out with my friends. We happen to speak English."
That is the goal. When English stops feeling like work and starts feeling like a connection.
Exactly. Now, I want to address something important. Some people might be thinking, but I need structured learning. I need grammar lessons and vocabulary lists.
And you know what? They're not wrong.
Exactly. We're not saying abandon traditional learning completely. We're saying combine it with friendships.
So what would that look like?
You might study grammar and vocabulary on your own or with a teacher for a few hours a week. That gives you the foundation. Then you practice what you learned in real conversations with friends.
So the textbook teaches you the rules and the friendships teach you how to actually use them.
Perfect way to put it. Think of it like learning to swim. You can read books about swimming, watch videos about proper technique, and that's valuable knowledge.
But you don't actually learn to swim until you get in the water.
Exactly. Conversations with friends are the water where you practice swimming.
I love that analogy. So what are some common mistakes people make when trying to learn English through friendships?
Great question. Mistake number 1, being too formal. People treat language exchange like a classroom instead of a casual conversation.
What does that look like?
They'll say things like, "Hello, how are you? I am fine, thank you. What did you do today?" Very stiff, very unnatural.
Instead of just saying, "Hey, how's it going? What'd you do today?"
Exactly. Mistake number 2, only talking about language learning itself. Every conversation becomes, "How do you say this? What does this word mean? Is this grammar correct?"
That sounds exhausting.
It is. Instead, talk about life. Talk about the crazy thing that happened at work, the movie you watched last night, your plans for the weekend.
And if you don't understand a word or phrase, you can ask naturally in the moment.
Yes, like if I say, "I binge-watched that show," and you don't know binge-watch, you can just say, "Wait, what does binge-watch mean?" And I'll explain, and we'll continue the conversation.
Natural learning in context.
Exactly. Mistake number 3, giving up too quickly. People have one awkward conversation and think, this isn't working.
But all first conversations are a bit awkward, even in your native language.
Right, you need to give it time. The first few conversations might feel stilted, but as you get to know each other, it gets much more natural.
What's mistake number 4?
Mistake number 4, only talking with one person. Diversity is important.
Why is that?
Because everyone speaks differently. If you only talk with one person, you get used to their accent, their way of speaking, their vocabulary, but then you'll struggle to understand other native speakers.
So you should have multiple conversation partners?
Yes, maybe 2 or 3 regular friends you talk with weekly, plus occasional conversations with others.
That way you're exposed to different accents, different speaking styles.
Exactly. And mistake number 5, being afraid to disagree or have real conversations.
What do you mean?
Some learners are so worried about offending that every conversation is superficial. Everything is, that's nice, and I agree.
But real friendships include disagreements and debates.
Exactly. If your friend says they loved a movie you hated, say so. Respectfully, of course. Really, I actually didn't enjoy it that much. I thought the ending was predictable.
And then you have a real conversation about it.
Yes, those kinds of discussions where you're defending your opinion, asking questions, considering different viewpoints, that's where you really develop fluency.
Because you're thinking in English, not just repeating phrases.
Exactly. Now, let me share some phrases that will help you maintain friendships in English.
Oh, this is practical. I love it.
So, for starting conversations casually, you can say, "What's up? How's it going? What have you been up to? Anything new with you?"
Those are much better than, "How are you?"
How are you isn't bad, but it's formal. Friends usually say, "How's it going?" or just, "Hey."
What about keeping the conversation flowing?
Use phrases like, "No way, that's crazy, tell me more." And then what happened? How did that make you feel?
These show you're engaged and interested.
Exactly. And for sharing your own stories, "You won't believe what happened to me. So get this. I've been meaning to tell you."
These are conversation starters that create interest.
Yes, and for agreeing, "I know, right? Totally. Same here. I feel you."
These are so much more natural than, "I agree with you."
Right. And for disagreeing politely, "I see what you mean, but..." That's one way to look at it, though. I'm not sure I agree because..." "I hear you, but I think..."
These allow you to disagree without being rude.
Exactly. Friendly disagreement is an art, especially in English.
Okay, so we've covered a lot. Let's talk about something important. What if you can't find native English speakers to be friends with?
Another great question. Here's the truth. You don't need native speakers. You can practice with other learners.
Really?
Absolutely. Some of the best language practice happens between learners because you're both at similar levels. You understand each other's struggles and there's zero pressure.
I actually had a friend from Korea and one from Brazil, and the 3 of us, all learning English, would have weekly video calls in English.
And did that help?
So much. We'd help each other, correct each other gently, and learn from each other's mistakes. Plus, it was fun because we were all in the same boat.
This is actually a powerful approach. Find other English learners at your level, commit to speaking only English when you're together, and support each other's journey.
It's like having workout buddies at the gym.
Perfect analogy. You motivate each other, you hold each other accountable, you celebrate each other's progress.
So, Sarah, as we wrap up, what would you say is the most important takeaway from everything we've discussed?
I would say this. Learning English through friendships isn't just more effective than traditional methods. It's more enjoyable, more sustainable, and more meaningful.
Because you're not just learning a language, you're building connections with people around the world.
Exactly, and those connections can enrich your life in ways beyond just language skills. You gain new perspectives, learn about different cultures, and maybe even find lifelong friends.
I'm thinking about my friend Carlos, whom I mentioned earlier. We started as language partners, but now he's one of my closest friends. We've traveled together, I went to his wedding, and our families know each other.
That's the beautiful thing about this approach. The language is just the beginning. The friendships are what make it all worthwhile.
And you know what else? When you have real friends who speak English, you want to practice. It's not a chore, it's something you look forward to.
Yes, intrinsic motivation is so much more powerful than forcing yourself to study because you should.
So for everyone watching, here's my challenge to you. Within the next 24 hours, take one concrete step toward making an English-speaking friend.
Download a language exchange app, join an online community related to your hobby, comment on an English YouTube video. Do something.
Because knowledge without action is just entertainment. You've learned a lot today, but it only matters if you actually apply it.
And remember, you don't need to be perfect to start. You just need to start to become perfect.
Don't wait until your English is good enough. Start making friends now with whatever level you have and watch your English improve through those connections.
So, let's recap the shocking truth we've uncovered today. Traditional English education focuses on grammar and vocabulary, which are important, but they miss the most crucial element, real human connection.
Your brain learns languages best when you're not in study mode, but in communication mode, when you're genuinely trying to connect with another person.
Making friends gives you consistent, natural, contextualized English practice that no textbook can replicate.
The methods we shared, language exchange apps, interest-based communities, local meetups, and social media, these give you unlimited opportunities to connect with English speakers.
Remember that mistakes are part of the process. Native speakers aren't judging you, and even they don't speak perfect English.
Combine traditional learning with friendship-based practice for the best results.
Be patient, be persistent, and be genuine in your friendships.
And most importantly, start today. Don't wait.
If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to Native Speakers for more real-world English lessons like this.
Drop a comment below telling us what's one step you're going to take this week to make an English-speaking friend.
We read all the comments and we love hearing about your language learning journey.
Remember, you're not alone in this journey. There are millions of people around the world learning English, just like you.
And millions of English speakers would love to be your friend and help you improve.
So go out there, make connections, make conversations, and watch your English transform.
Thanks for watching Native Speakers. We'll see you in the next video.
Keep speaking, keep learning, and keep making friends.
Bye, everyone.